Bersepadu, strategik dan progresif. Memperkenalkan Seremban Sentral.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Afifah binti Yusuf. My metric number is 2021 836 586. Housing is one of the government major challenge with social ramification if not handled properly. The federal and state government have introduced projects which is the National Housing Policy such as Perumahan Rakyat One Malaysia, which is PRIMA, residensi wilayah formerly Rumah Wilayah Persekutuan, and then Program Perumahan Rakyat PPR and others. The introduction of more affordable housing in Malaysia, such as Prima, was initiated with the main goal of providing sufficient units of affordable housing to meet demand, particularly among middle-income earners. Malaysia's government intends to build more affordable housing in cities and towns. Former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak launched the Prima project on 4th July 2011. The program is managed by Perbadanan Prima Malaysia, a government-owned company under the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. Under the Prima Act 2012, Perbadanan Prima Malaysia was established with the goal of planning, developing, constructing and maintaining high-quality housing with lifestyle concept for middle-income households in key urban areas.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Aisha binti Faisal and I'll be present on Prima's background and problem, issue or causes. Prima is one of the government initiative in order to help people who are unable to purchase their own houses in the urban areas. This is due to the prices of the houses keep constant rising, which is affected middle income family in the urban areas. This program has its own mission, which is to plan, develop, establish and maintain affordable houses for middle-income family in the urban areas. For example, we can see there is a Prima house that have been successfully built in Seremban that come with many facilities such as gymnasium, sky garden, library area in the apartment.
It has tens of thousands of brand new empty houses, and yet the prices are not going down. Many average Malaysians can't afford to buy a home. So why are Malaysian homes so expensive? According to Khazanah Research Institute, there is currently an overhang of 32,810 residential properties in Malaysia. These houses are collectively worth 19.76 billion ringgit. Overhang meaning brand new but unsold after 9 months.
Only 35.6% of newly launched housing units since 2015 have been priced below 300,000, while 76% of families earn less than the 8,330 ringgit a month required to afford homes over 300,000. This market failure in supplying adequate affordable housing was also recognized by Bank Negara. According to the median multiple method recommendation by the World Bank and United Nations, Malaysia house price to income ratio reached 4.72 times in 2020, with the median house price at 2,095 ringgit and median annual household income at 62,500 ringgit, falling within socially unaffordable level 4.1 to 5.0 times. The second issue is low affordability houses. Based on Department of Statistics Malaysia and Appraisal and Property Management Department JPPH, only between 24.1 or 1.82 million household and 28.7% of 2.18 million household may find the average house price affordable, having an annual income that covers at least 1/3 of the average house price in the nation, 13 states and 3 federal territories. The house that considered as affordable is if it costs not more than 3 times the average annual income.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. I am Fatimah Sarah Pidiansari from Group 3. I will present on stakeholder and related ministry. For the stakeholder, I just only short briefly about the concept. The stakeholder is to fulfill the authority and achieve its objective by providing, maintaining affordable housing for middle-income households. In order to achieve the member of corporation, their main goal of providing and maintaining affordable housing for middle-income households, which is in urban area, new urban or other strategic area, especially while taking other stakeholder into consideration, the interest is important to them. Next is to act as developer, supervise the plan, execute construction and related with the scope with well, which is Prima roles as a developer include supervising, planning and carrying out the design, construction, maintenance and operation of Prima community, which is Prima is a strategic collaboration between the government and the private sector, in which the government provide the site and we own private sector developer are invited to participate in the construction for the affordable housing. To the next part, the ministry or department body that have the authority in solving the problem. One of it is managed by the government-owned company Perbadanan Prima Malaysia under the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. The Ministry of Housing and Local Government main responsibility is include to provide affordable housing for qualified applicant or regulating aspect of private housing development. Aside from that, the assist and lead local government throughout delivering the service socioeconomic facilities to satisfy the requirement of local. In 2021, the former Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin stated that it established the National Housing Corp. The National House Corp will coordinate housing agency that will cover the One Malaysia People Housing Program, which is PRIMA. The corporation primary focus is to conduct research and strategic planning in terms of centralizing the housing record in order to address the issue of supply and demand gap, particularly for affordable housing, whether public or private. It will also investigate the act and enforcement of housing regulation in order to protect the interests of all parties involved in the housing industry, such as buyers, developer, contractor. Next, the National Housing Department. National Housing Department implemented a housing loan scheme, one of the government approach in regard to buy prima houses without having to worry about home financing. Our Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob stated that the scheme might also serve as the model for the future by the government and private sector actor, such as Prima, to provide easy financing to Prima home buyers. This which means it is a buyer-friendly initiative. We definitely enable more keluarga Malaysia, which is the Malaysia concept, and then the particular those in the young and middle income group to purchase Prima home without having to worry about home financial.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Badrul Amin, and now I will talk about strategy analysis of Malaysia Housing Project Prima. There are strength, weakness, opportunities, threat analysis in Prima. For their strength, working culture. As a public organization, Prima cares about the welfare of society in general, especially its employee. The existence of a spirit of cooperation and brotherhood between Prima employees is an important element to produce an efficient and productive work environment. In order to strengthen the relationship between employee and the management, Prima has organized several internal programs such as the Prima Town Hall, the speech on the employment submission system, and Prima fasting ceremony. The other strength is marketing campaign Prima. Prima has run marketing campaign to increase Prima residents sales. The main campaign is Home Ownership Campaign 2019. This campaign is jointly organized by the Ministry of Housing and Local Government and Malaysia Real Estate and Housing Developers Association under the initiative of the Ministry of Finance to achieve the National Housing Agenda. Prima managed to record the sale of 10,000 houses with a gross development value of 2.76 billion. Prima also organized an interesting marketing campaign in conjunction with Merdeka Day and Malaysia Day, which is the Prima Merdeka Buy and Win contest and year-end sale. For weakness, corruption and suitable location. Corruption. There is corruption happening in this organization. In 2018, Parliament Malacca urged authorities to investigate the allegations of the Deputy Minister of Housing and Local Government in Parliament regarding the Malaysian Housing One project Prima, which has cost 8 billion. During the conclusion of the debate on the expenditure reallocation bill, the minister stated that the government has spent 8 billion on the Prima project, but only 1.6% house unit have been built. Parliament Malacca State Prima project was abandoned because the contractor had problem not receive payment from the government. Next business is looking for suitable location. The CEO mentioned that one of the challenges and factors that cause low delivery of Prima housing is to acquire and identify the suitable land for Prima development. He added the process in identifying and allocating suitable land can be speeded up with the help of authorities. He says location is important and he doesn't want to put the purchaser far away from the city because this will cause them to have to spend more on the transportation costs. There are several state governments allocate land for Prima where they have planned to urbanize, but this area most probably far away from amenities and transportation links since area that closer to the local amenities such as school, retailing outlet, and public transportation station can only be considered as a good location. For opportunity, there is Prima Community Principle. In achieving the goal of developing quality affordable housing projects for the middle income group, the formation of a sustainable community and generation is an important element to manifest a prosperous and comfortable neighborhood atmosphere. The development of Prima is based on the concept of my home, my community. To ensure that the desire can be met holistically, the corporation has introduced a community initiative guided by 4 community principles: Sihat, Saku, Sayang, Selamat. These principles include components that emphasize aspects of health, socio-economic, social relation, and the general safety of the population. For Sihat, it is focused on physical, mental, and aspects, spirituality, social activities, and active lifestyle. For Saku, it is focused on independent retail, community enterprise, and employment opportunities. For Sayang, social development initiative focused on child development, education, and community skills. For Selamat, it is focused on safety incident prevention, emergency response. For the trade, the Prima project was sabotaged. The government's desire to realize one family, one house faced a bitter challenge when the Prima became a victim of sabotage. Revealing the matter, Prima chairman Dato' Fatu said that the sabotage was done by subcontractors such as the managing the facilities when they did not get payment from the main contractor. Chairman told of the bitter challenge of realizing the government's dream of one family, one house through the Prima project. He suggests managing and resolving this matter first by Prima paying directly to the subcontractors to avoid them boycotting the project. According to the chairman, his side also detected fraud when the contractor submitted a report stating that the project was 70% complete, but only 40% complete.
Hi, my name is Nushaira binti Kaha and I will proceed with the presentation on the challenges faced during the development of Prima housing project. So the first challenges that has been facing in Prima development is lack of available land to develop Prima housing. So according to the Prima Chief Executive Officer, Dato' Abdul Muttalib Alias, he also mentioned that one of the factors that has slowed down the process of the development of Prima housing is to acquire and identify the suitable lands, and they must ensure that the location is strategic enough whereby it cannot be far away from the city since it might affect the purchaser because they need to spend more money on the transportation cost, for example. The difficulties to find a suitable land or location for the development of Prima has resulted them to acquire land at a very high price, and eventually this will affect the budget allocation and causes more unforeseen circumstances in the project. However, there are also several state government which has allocated land for the development of Prima, but those areas are most probably far from the public amenities. Therefore, this state government has come out with the alternative plan whereby they plan to urbanize or develop the areas with more schools, retailing outlets, and also public transportation station which is closer to the area in order to ensure that the Prima housing location is suitable and convenient enough to be occupied by the purchaser. The second challenge is time consuming. Since the development that involve land area more than 50 hectares are required to provide environment impact assessment, or also known as EIA, to acquire planning permission, this has somehow affected the period of time on the development of the Prima housing. This is because the period of the development will be lengthened due to the requirement to submit EIA reports to authorities for controlling and monitoring purpose. Moreover, the housing developers also need to adapt to the land use requirement quickly due to the ever-changing rules and policies, and they also complain about the period to get planning approval, which will cause them to lose more money due to the longer time consumed. To obtain planning permission can also cause slow delivery of the approved Prima project because there are so many layers to go through during the approval process, and this has become one of the challenges for Prima. Lastly, the factors of high operation costs also considered as one of the challenges in the Prima housing development. Due to the lack of land availability, and it was expensive for Prima to acquire land in main town, which is also very high demand, Prima had to pay up using its own money in order to provide houses that is cheaper than the other developer for the people. So according to the Ministry of Plantation Industries and Commodities, back in 2019, Prima was banned for a while from developing any new project for the purpose to cleaning up the stocks and also its debt. Since there were huge numbers of unsold units of Prima housing, the government is unable to bear the operation cost to develop more Prima project in the future. And it was reported that there were about 20,876 of unsold units that were about 12.26 billion in the country, which has led to an expensive failure on this housing project.
Greetings, my name is Elena Fensi and I'm going to explain the recommendation for Prima Housing Project. So under this recommendation, due to the unclear decision, the government should frequently revise the existing policies so that it can align with current challenges and the root causes of the problem which later can be identified so that authority will be able to take corrective action in order to solve these issues. So according to Said in 2016, each state in Malaysia has their own conditions, criteria and requirements in order to gain the planning permission. So the policies should be standardized and make it clear to the developers and contractors. Hence, the developer needs to quickly adapt and constantly update with the changes in the regulation. As for the stakeholder, they need to work together in ensuring they achieve the requirements. And the corporate governance of Prima is a good initiative from the government whereby they conduct audit and risk management on the Prima operations from both internal and external audit, finance reporting, management of risk and integrity unit for the betterment of performance and outcome for this project. So the issue arises on the allocation of public resources and unsold unit of house are due to the price and competing for the same market. Thus, the local government should cohesively allocate their resources so that they can reduce the risk and will not be responsible for greater loss from the unsold units. So the ministry can also launch an attractive program to attract more home buyers. Like for example, a program called Jom Beli Rumah Wilayah Utara Carnival to promote over 92,000 units of unsold houses in northern region of Peninsular Malaysia this year to first-time home buyers who are interested in owning a property. And besides that, various scheme and other advantages like Prima Innovative Housing Loan Scheme and the Keluarga Malaysia Home Ownership Initiative I Miliki is a good initiative suggested by the Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, which target to achieve 500,000 units of affordable housing for all Malaysians based on the 12 Malaysian Plan. So according to ADS in 2019, he suggested that Malaysia should take the initiative and follow the steps from other countries such as Singapore, who have their own Housing and Development Board, or known as HDB, to supervise the segment in affordable housing or to establish a single housing agency to make the process more efficient for our country. These efforts will make the agency measure the demand from the public from data collected by the government. Therefore, the issues of land will be allocated based on the demand, or else the projects will be built in undesired location whereby the demand is far lower and unpopular. Thus, as the state government, who act as the important actors in this project, they should be responsible in offering lands for affordable housing development. But in 2018, YB Zuraida Kamarudin mentioned that out of 127 plots of lands, only 27 plots provided by the government. Thus, the state government should put thought on this suggestion. Thank you.
So in a conclusion, Malaysian housing policy has always been considered in addressing the issue of providing housing for low-income people over the years. These efforts have proven to be quite successful in addressing issues of low-income housing provision. Here, Prima houses are all priced between 100,000 to 400,000. It's inexpensive compared to most houses on the market because this program genuinely wants to provide affordable housing. But there's pro and cons. There's certain challenges that can be improved, such as lack of available land, time consuming, and also high operation. So that's all from our group. Thank you.